Football, for the love of the game.
Hello, welcome again. This is Afcon day 10 already. Imagine, we are probably at the midway point. Before you know it, Afcon will soon be over. And shout out to our friends, to the fans. This year has been a very good year. This channel is just, it's just 1 year old. Like, if you remember, guys, last year, towards the end of last year, we lost our previous account. So we had to like rebuild this from the scratch. And we're now more than 10,000 subscribers. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for a wonderful 2025. I hope that we start the next year, on a very good note too. And happy new year to our friends in Asia. Already by the time you are seeing this video, it's already 2026, in Asia. So, and I want to say happy new year in advance to our friends in America, Canada, in Nigeria, in Europe, everywhere, around the world. If you're already in 2026, happy new year to you. If you are still 2025, happy new year in advance. So I just want to say a quick recording. This already March the 10, and it's been very, very good. So, and I've enjoyed the Afcon, but I have to be honest with you, I enjoyed the previous Afcon more than this. A lot of things actually were the vibes and everything. It's good the last Afcon, compared to this Afcon. Let's just go straight into it. So, and how have you been to? So, just quick news from the Super Eagles camp is that Ryan Alebiosu, there's like there'll be reports that he might probably be out of the tournament, but a report coming from the camp now says that he will be available for the next game. So that's a good news. But there's no news yet about Cyril Dessers. So we'll be waiting for updates on Cyril Dessers' can to see exactly if he'll be available for the next fixtures too against I will reveal the opponent now very soon. So you guys know that the quarterfinal actually the last group game ended today. Both E and actually F in group E. Algeria actually Algeria beat. So I'm just gonna like put on the the Afcon this thing directly here. The fixtures, the bracket is already actually open. So then we'll be able to do justice to it quickly. Apologies that I can't just sustain the live section. That's the reason why this is actually recorded. Apologies, for that. So that's a good news from the Alibius. Let me just think about so Algeria beat Equatorial Guinea by 3-1. Sudan lost to Burkina Faso by 0-2. Gabon also lost a dramatic game to Ivory Coast 2-3, while Cameroon came from behind to beat Mozambique 2-1. So I think I watched the game. I watched more of Sudan against Burkina Faso. Another very boring game too. Sudan, they don't really have any attacking power to attack Burkina Faso. It was this game that just realized that maybe probably if it was a 16-team Afcon, you won't see such game there. But I won't tell you, it was a very boring game. I think the Equatorial Guinea game was slightly more interesting. So I think Sudan did not really put a lot of effort there. Maybe probably knew that, we're gonna be playing in the second round, no matter the results. So they just did not really put a lot of effort, in there. And I was really happy for Lassana Traore. He's been battling injury for so long. The coach was criticized that he included Lassana Traore, in the list. And every criticism, but he said that the boy is training, the boy will be fit, and the boy will be ready. And the boy, scored the first goal today for Burkina Faso. So I was actually really impressed with him. So, and also Mazatu also had a very good game against Equatorial Guinea, and also happy that Emmanuel Iswe, as usual, always score during Afcon. We are not sure. Maybe in Sway, Equatorial Guinea is in Sway. Maybe probably this will be his last Afcon. We don't know. But I think time will surely tell. So in the other games too, the second goal for after that Asana Traore, the second goal for Burkina Faso was actually was scored by Kouassi. Was scored by Kouassi towards the end of the game. So that's probably just sealed it for Burkina Faso. So, and apart from Aminano Isui's goal for Guinea Equatoria, Shaibi scored for Algeria, and Belite too also scored for Algeria. So it was very interesting. The Algeria game was very interesting. I think Algeria needed to top the group. In fact, even Sebastian Desabre, the coach of DR Congo, was monitoring the Algeria against the Equatorial game. So that means that you knew already that it's gonna actually he's gonna be there. They're gonna actually they're gonna meet Algeria. So in the last group game, actually, the last group game, Mozambique against Cameroon, ended actually 2-3. It was a very interesting game. I have to be honest with you. Mozambique scored first goal. I told you about the boy called Jenny Katamo, and he drew the first blood, but Cameroon equalized through an own goal before Christian Kofane scored. What a beauty! The Bayer Leverkusen youngster is called the beauty of a goal to actually to see Cameroon victory. So Cameroon now finished second in that group despite their heroic, while Ivory Coast finished first after coming from a 2-goal down to beat Gabon. Bouanga and Kanga already put Gabon ahead before before Ivory Coast came for the 2-goal down and scored towards the end of the game to beat Gabon in a very thrilling encounter. The Ivory Coast team were likely they're not really their first level. A lot of changes in that team, but still they looked for a way to actually to win. And I think it was Amad Diallo and Doué's substitution that really changed the game for Ivory Coast. So so now the quarterfinal fixture is now actually set. And I'm going to talk about that one quickly before we wrap it up. So it's now set. So you can see clearly on the screen. So in Casablanca, Mali, we play against Tunisia. So that's going to be 3rd of January. So just like in 3 days' time now. So it's going to be very, very tough encounter. If you remember, there was this Mali-Tunisia game in Afcon 2021 that ended at the 88th minute when the Zambia referee blew the final whistle before 90th minute. If you remember that game, what a very funny game. So Mali and Tunisia seems to be meeting every Afcon. They met in Afcon 2021. They met in Afcon 2023. They were in the same group in Afcon 2023, and they actually Mali against Tunisia. Mali Tunisia actually there. I think it was a draw. So and now they're going to be playing in in this Afcon again. In the second round. So. And I said the other game is going to be Senegal against Sudan. For me, I think it's probably a one-sided game, except something drastic happened. I know that Senegal will be missing Kalidou Koulibaly in that game, except anything drastic, happen. I don't see Tunisia. I don't see Sudan getting a result against Senegal. So the game is going to be played in Tangier. So in Agadir, Egypt play against Benin Republic. This is going to be a very, very tough game. People think that it might probably be a one-sided game. I can tell you that Benin Republic will make it tough, for Egypt. So, but you still expect Egypt to win. Egypt rested majority of his players over Ramazan against the players in the last game against Angola. So they expect to return against Benin Republic, on the 5th of January. And on the 6th of January, there's also going to be Marrakesh. That's going to be the game between Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. So because Ivory Coast finished first in this group and Burkina Faso finished second in their group, so they play. It's going to be a very, very tough game. I remember the traditional, Ivory Coast Burkina Faso game. Qualifiers that is always very tough. So these are like West African neighbors, not even West Africa. They are both in West African B. So just to tell you, how close these guys actually what are, and it's going to be very, very tough encounter. So, and South Africa play against Cameroon. That's that clash of sides is going to be on the 4th of January. That is going to be in Rabat, in Al Medina Rabat. So, I will see exactly what and Ugo Bruce got off his sleeves. Cameroon is a very, very dangerous team. I will see exactly, what Ugo Bruce can actually do against this dangerous and very useful Cameroonian team. So on the 4th of January again in Rabat, it's going to be Morocco against Tanzania. So it's like David versus Goliath type of game. Tanzania qualified without winning any game. They lost one against Nigeria, drew two, and now they are now in the second round. So for me, it's going to be very, I don't see any escape route from Tanzania. Tanzania cannot defend for their lives. So except something happens to, I expect Morocco to win. I think you can call Senegal to beat Sudan. You can call Morocco to beat Tanzania, in a very easy game. So Algeria versus DR Congo. Algeria versus DR Congo is another game that is very close, similar to Tunisia versus Mali. It's very close. The game can actually go either way, but it's got very, very tough. Algeria, the second team in this Afcon to have complete 9 points. So you expect them to add momentum, go to the game against DR Congo. We will see. We will see exactly what will happen. Why the last game is going to be Nigeria, against Mozambique, against the Mambas of Mozambique. The Super Eagles of Nigeria against the Mambas of Mozambique. A very tough game too. I expect Mozambique, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be placed in first, so that's the advantage of finishing first in your group. So Nigeria will still play in first and wait for Mozambique to travel down to first, for that game. So Mozambique too rested Ronaldo, in that game against Cameroon. So, but they started with Jenny Katamo and some other players. Their right back, I forgot his name. He got injured today, so I don't know. Maybe he's going to be fit before Nigerians game, on the 5th of January. So that's actually what the quarter. That's the second round fixtures. So if you look at it now, so there are 16 teams now in the second round. Let's look at the best performing region. So I'm going to just say West Africa, North Africa, Central Africa, and South Africa. So how many West African you can find here? You can find Mali, Senegal, Benin Republic, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. So you can find 6 West African team, 6 West African team out of 16 teams, 6 West African teams. So how many North can you find here? Tunisia. So I hope I counted this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Tunisia, you find Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco, and Algeria. So you find 4 North African teams qualified. Okay. Now, what about South Africa? So you have Mozambique. I think they are part of You have Mozambique, and you have South Africa. You have Mozambique, and you have South Africa. So how many Central Africans can you actually find there? You find Sudan. You find Sudan. You find DR Congo, and also Cameroon. So I think West Africa actually 5, North African 4, South African 2, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Tanzania is the only East Africa there. Okay, Tanzania qualified from that's the only East Africa there. So what this shows is that all African teams, all regions here are represented. All regions here are actually represented. I don't see any region that is not actually so you have East Africa here, you have South Africans, you have Central Africa, you have West Africa, you also have North Africa. So this is like proper representation from all the regions in Africa. I wish them the very best of luck as usual. So we're going to be doing go see you again, the first edition, January 1st tomorrow. Tomorrow is the rest day, so we're just going to be bringing you news from the camp and probably the preview of the game between Nigeria and Mozambique. So I wish you Happy New Year, and I wish you a very fruitful 2026. And thank you for the support. So on the behalf of me and the whole of channel, or the whole of Ghana Football team, and our supporters too in Ghana Football, I wish you Happy New Year. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And God bless the continent of Africa. Thank you.
Ghana Football, for the love of the game.